It's Monday, May 9th. Coming up live on The View. Brooke Shields is sitting in as our special guest co-host. And Fran Drescher. Then, Madison star Jim Caviezel is telling you why he had second thoughts about playing Jesus in The Passion of the Christ.
Jim Caviezel rose to the height of stardom playing Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. And in the new movie, Madison, he's having a spiritual crisis of his own. Take a look.
You don't owe anyone.
For 8 years, I've been trying to explain to people what I was thinking when I walked away from that cockpit in the middle of the season. And for 8 years, I've been trying to convince them that it was because of Epperson or because of Davy's crash or because of you. And all along, I've known it didn't have anything to do with anybody but me.
Jim.
Now, hold on a second. Maybe I didn't have the guts to keep racing for the same reason that I do not have the guts to leave here.
He is such a good actor. Please welcome Jim Caviezel. I'm such a fan. I am such a fan. We've been talking about it. When I got to see one of the first early screenings of The Passion of the Christ, and when I tell you, you got robbed and not getting nominated, you were so good in that film. It was brilliant. I'm a big fan. Just want to let you know that.
Well, thank you very much.
And the film was fantastic also. Also.
It was very controversial, that film, as you know.
Yeah.
He was a very controversial character.
But do you think that the controversy was that it was anti-Semitic? Do you agree with that or not?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he himself was the greatest Jew there ever was.
But the portrayal of the other Jews in the film was a little bit hard, I thought.
You know, we stayed with the gospel, and it didn't. It is offensive, but it's offensive to all sorts of people, and also very promising for many people as well. I tried to focus on the parts where he says, you know, my commandment to you is you love your neighbor.
Oh yeah, the character of Jesus was wonderful. That I don't have an issue with. It was the rest of them, and Pontius Pilate was too nice, I thought.
Yeah, well, it was, you know...
I never thought of him as nice.
We didn't make him as evil as he actually was in the Gospels.
I ever thought of him as nice. But either way, I'll tell you one thing. I know where you were before we talk about Madison. I know you actually knew Pope John Paul II. You went to his funeral, didn't you?
I did. I went to his funeral. I met with him twice while we were filming, and once afterwards. And, you know, when I came in and met with him, it was pretty intimidating.
Oh, wow.
Just
what is it like
a
to have
tad bit more
audience?
Well, I walked in, and first thing he said was, "How are you? Come here." And I walked over, and he says, "Jim Caviezel, what have you learned to blame Jesus Christ?" I said, "Well, Holy Father, you know, Jesus is well, I like the Italian people, you know." And he says, "Yes." And I said, and they're very beautiful people. "Yes." And I said, "I think Jesus was Italian." He says, "What?" And I said, "Well, hold on. He didn't leave home until he was 30. He always hung out with the same 12 guys. And his mother believed he was God." Then he says, I said, "You're not upset with me?" He says, "No, I always believed he was Polish."
He was, I mean, everybody talks about him as being a wonderful man.
Yes.
And he seemed to have been a wonderful man. So a great experience.
All your work seems to be true labors of love. I know with Madison, you play a hydroplane boat racer who, up against terrible odds, but you go on to win the Gold Cup. And you were actually scheduled to do another movie and decided to nix it and do this one instead. Why?
My wife called me up. I was shooting Frequency at the time, and here in New York, and she said, "Forget about that movie. You should do this Madison movie." And I'd always thought that if there were two films I really liked, one was Rudy, one was Hoosiers, and I always thought if she ever found something like that, or if I ever found something like that, I would do it. And that was that film, which takes place in southern Indiana.
It's got the same feel, yeah.
And it came out, and then it disappeared.
Was she nervous about? I mean, hydroplaning is pretty dangerous. The boats go up to what, 180 miles an hour. Were you
like
going
right
to do
here,
any
you
of your
can
own
just see the coverage.
stunts, or did you?
There was no other way we could do it. I had to get in that vessel. It's like a missile, and you know, when you're like at the Indianapolis Speedway, the road stays stable, and obviously the water moves here. And when you're water skiing, a little 25-mile-an-hour wake is suddenly a launching pad.
Had you ever done anything like that before?
No,
Just
no.
recreationally? No.
Just with cars.
That looks like fun.
But not at those
Now
speeds.
the movie went away for about 6 years. You said and
5 years.
5 years. And you said, I heard that that Mel saw it and decided to put the trailer in the.
While we were making The Passion, I said, look, here's a film that we showed at Sundance, and he said, why didn't it get picked up? First thing everyone says, and it got too expensive. The boats kept breaking down. And so we went way over budget, and now you're talking a $12, $15 million film as opposed to a $6. And he saw it, and he put it on the Passion, the trailer.
And so got the attention it needed.
Yeah.
Because that little small movie, The Passion, did rather well. If you know what I mean. Our thanks to Jim Caviezel. Madison is in select theaters right now. He is a wonderful actor. We'll be right back.